Today I'm flying the amazing jet bomber, the Arado 234. Fortunately, this aircraft came out too late in the war to have any significant impact, but it is truly astonishing relative to the other aircraft of the time, and I'm going to demonstrate some of the unique features. I have to say, as huge a fan as I am of IL-2 Sturmovik, I was a little apprehensive about flying the Arado because it's just so much more complicated than any of the other aircraft. But I ultimately decided to figure out how to do it and really focus on the unique systems. And I'm glad I did because it is a lot of fun to fly. And again, as I said, it has some really unique features. So today I'm going to be demonstrating a glide bomb attack and a landing using the Drogue Chute, which I think is unique to the Arado in IL-2. One of the coolest things about the Ar-234 is its very sophisticated autopilot system. Now, in IL-2, essentially every plane has autopilot capabilities, but that's just a feature of the game. The Ar-234, on the other hand, actually had a sophisticated autopilot system that allowed you to adjust your yaw and pitch to within fractions of a degree. This is very, very impressive capabilities. I'm not going to go into exactly how to use the autopilot system because there's an excellent video by Kampfgeschwader76. I'll leave a link in the description. But the way that the autopilot system works in connection with the dive bombing site allows you to adjust your angle of attack to within a tenth of a degree for your dive, and also allows you to adjust your yaw to ensure that you're constantly lined up on the target and to account for things like a crosswind or anything along those lines. So here you can see I'm zeroing in on my target, which is that area of the Antwerp docks that includes 2 factories and some oil storage facilities. As I get closer, I'm using the autopilot to constantly increase my dive angle. Started about 2 degrees, and as I got closer, I got down to about a 10-degree dive. And that was to ensure that I kept the target in the sight. At the same time, I set my target altimeter to 2,000 meters. So when I heard the alarm, I knew I was passing 2,000 meters. The Pipper crossed the target, and I released the bombs. And as you can see, it was a direct hit, even compensating for a 5 meter per second crosswind. I then turned the Arado back to base, and at a very crisp speed, I make my way back home. With the runway in sight, I've decreased my airspeed down to 300 kilometers per hour. And after I drop my landing gear and flaps, I expect I'll be around 200 kilometers per hour, which is about the glide speed for most aircraft. But for some reason, the Arado just does not want to slow down once it hits the runway. Maybe because it has so little drag. But in any event, what you will see is that they have installed a Drogue Chute, which comes in very handy in preventing you from overshooting the runway. So now with landing gear down and flaps in landing configuration, I have adjusted my trim to full nose down to compensate for the ballooning effect, and I'm coming in at what looks like a very nice sight picture at 200 kilometers per hour. As I reach my target point, I roll out and wait for the aircraft to touch down. I then apply brakes and deploy the Drogue Chute, which is highly effective at slowing the plane down. Once I'm nearly stopped, I jettison the Drogue Chute and I come to a nice, safe stop on the runway. So, needless to say, I love the Ar-234. It's a lot of fun to fly, and just another reason that I love IL-2 Sturmovik. On the multiplayer servers, I am Major Bogo. I play primarily on Combat Box, and I hope to fly with you someday. Thank you for watching.